Hey, it's Jeff Garber, mortgage expert, and welcome to video number 1 in my Money Foundations and Mindset section. I have a lot of information to share with you on this topic, especially if mortgages make you nervous or anxious, and learning and understanding about how money and how it works and how equity works and how you can put this to your benefit. I teach people how to become their own bank. Banks know how to make money, and you can do the same thing with these strategies. We're going to start with a brief history lesson. It starts with the Great Depression and the Great Depression mindset. Does this sound familiar to you? So if somebody was going to give you advice on getting a mortgage today, does it sound familiar that if you were to ask your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, what to do, what did they do, you might hear something like, hey, you know what? Put as much money down as you can. Try to put 20% or more down so you don't have to pay PMI, private mortgage insurance. Put extra money to your mortgage each month. You'll pay it off quicker. You could knock 7 years off the loan. You'll save all of this interest. Right, does any of this sound familiar? Because this is the common lingo that's out there now. This is the common philosophy on mortgages and money. It may not be the right philosophy. Right? The Great Depression was in 1929, that time frame. The rules of money and the economic environment are very different today than they were during that time frame. And we've gone through the Great Depression, we've had the Great Recession, which was stemmed by the financial crisis in 2008. And then, as recently as the last couple of years with COVID, we saw what that did to the economy. What do they all have in common when it comes to housing and mortgages? And that is, many people lost their homes due to foreclosure. And these were good people that thought they were doing the right thing with their money. Right? They didn't think they were doing anything wrong. But you know what? Life happens. And if life didn't happen, then yeah, the mantra that was created from the Great Depression would still be an applicable way of handling your money today. But unfortunately, life happens and we can't control it. And so the idea behind it is that we want to be, well, I call it safety of your money, liquidity of your money, and get a rate of return on your money. And banks know this. And that's why banks make so much money. And they don't share these concepts with you for a reason. Because if they did, and you started doing these, you would be making the money and not them. So of course they don't want you to know that. I like to illustrate this with a story I heard a while back. I wish I could take credit for it. I can't, but I use it all the time to illustrate this point. It's called the ham story. So it goes like this. So there was this little girl, and she would watch her mom make, they would host a holiday every year, and her mother would make the ham every year. And the little girl would watch her mom pull the ham out of the refrigerator. Her mom would then put the ham on the tray before she put it in the oven. And then she would take out a carving knife and she would cut the sides off of both sides off of the ham. And then she would put it in the oven. So for years, the little girl would watch her mom do this. Finally, she decided to ask her mom why. Hey mom, why do you cut the sides off of this ham? Does that enhance the flavor somehow? Is there some sort of strategy behind this? Mom looks at her daughter and she says, I don't really know. Go ask your grandmother. She's in the other room. This is the way I watched her do it for years. And that's why I do it. So the little girl goes in the other room and says, hey grandma, why does mom cut the sides off of the ham, put it on the tray, put it in the oven? I gotta understand, is there some sort of magic behind that? Does it enhance the flavor? And grandmother looks at the granddaughter and she says, I have no idea why your mom does that. The only reason we did that was because we had to cut the sides off because the ham wouldn't fit in the oven. Our ovens were smaller. And think about that for a second. That's a common occurrence for us to kind of look at what our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents do or have done. We feel that they're doing it for a reason, and so we're going to do it for the reason. And if you take that analogy and apply it to mortgages and managing your money, if you manage your money the same exact way that your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents did, if they aren't catching up with the times, you might not be managing your money the right way. And when life happens, you could lose your home. And that's what we're going to try to prevent. That's the education I want to give you. How do we make our mortgage part of our overall financial plan? Not this big, ugly, bad, nasty debt that we have to get rid of right away. Now, any information that I give you, please talk to your financial planner, your accountants, anybody who's an expert in money before you do anything. This is general information that may or may not pertain to you. But for the most part, what you'll take away from it is a good education on how money works. And you might want to apply some of these strategies in your own financial plan. Okay, so I'm going to have a series of videos that break down these different strategies. We'll keep them short so that they're not too long, and we'll try and get to the point and give you some great information on how money works, how to manage your mortgage. Starting with my next video, which is going to cover two things. Number one, the concept of houses were not meant to store money. They were meant to store people. And then the main concept that I like to share with all my clients when it comes to money is three things: safety, liquidity, and rate of return. When it comes to your money, you want it to be safe, liquid, meaning you need to be able to get it, and you need to get a rate of return on it. If this is of interest to you, please jump over to the next video where we're going to cover that. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you want to schedule a free 15-minute consult with me at any time, you can do that as well. Look forward to hearing from you. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thank you.